Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. We find ourselves midweek. Please continue davening for Chaylei Tzvah Ganai Yisrael, for Shlom L'chol P'tzvah Yisrael, and learn Yishtei L'ilin Nishmat Sarah and Daniel Shimon Ben Harav Darom V'Shel Yishem Kam Damo. The next chapter in Netilas Yadayim L'fnei HaBracha. L'fnei Kohanim Nosim Es Kapehem. So before the Kohanim can raise their hands and give the blessing, Aleihem L'Tolas Yadayim Ad HaPerak, they have to wash their entire hands, again up to the wrist. Shehu Makom Chibur Hazrua V'Kaviyad. That's the connection, the place where the arm is connected to the hand, so we call that the wrist. V'Remez Yesh L'Davar, and we have a remez, we have a hint to this because it says in the pasuk in Tehillim Kuf Lamadalad, Se'u Yedechem Kodesh U'Varchu Es Hashem. A lot of people also will say this pasuk whenever they wash their hands. And if a kohen did not wash his hands, he cannot do it. So we have a machlokas amongst the Rishonim regarding the law of this washing. Ladasa Rambam, the Rambam writes in Hilchos Tefillah in the 15th chapter, Halacha Hay, Rak kasher hayadayim lichlachos yesh chova lenotlan. Aval kohen shenatal as yadav baboker v'hikvich lo lengo b'makomos metunofim ein tzarach shiachzar v'yital as yadav l'fnei Birchas Kohanim. So the Rambam says that the washing before Birchas Kohanim is only if the hands are dirty. However, if the kohen washes hands in the morning and he was careful not to touch any places that were dirty and his hands are clean, then there's no requirement to go and wash his hands again before duchening. L'das Rashi b'alei Tosfos, and Rashi and Tosfos mentioned in the Gemara in Sota Daf Lamed Tes, Gam yim hayadayim nekiyos tzrichim lenot l'kashim l'chvod Birchas Kohanim, is that even if his hands are clean, nevertheless there is a special requirement to wash before duchening. Has not anything to do with cleanliness per se. So l'maisa machmirim. So practically speaking, we are strict. V'gam kohen sheyadav nekiyos tzarich litalos yadav pnei Birchas Kohanim, and a kohen even who has clean hands is required to wash his hands before duchening. Kedas Rashi Tosfos, like the second opinion mentioned, according to Rashi and Tosfos. Aval ein mevarchen al hanatila. Don't make a bracha on this washing. Va'afilu imnagol lefnei keim b'makomos mitunafim. Even if his hands were dirty, mishum sheyesh safek im tiknu lo chachamim bracha, because we have a doubt. It's unclear whether or not Chazal instituted a bracha for this washing. So therefore, safek bracha is the kula, and we don't recite a bracha. So the Zohar intimates that this washing is meant to sanctify the hands of the Kohanim before they can give the bracha. In order to add holiness upon holiness, so the custom is that a Levi should pour the water onto the hands of the Kohanim. And if there's no Levi in shul, so then if there's no Levi, then a Bechor, a firstborn who has a slight amount of Kedusha, should wash his hands of the Kohanim. And when there is no Levi or Bechor, then the Kohen could just wash his own hands. I know that, again, since we duchen so rarely, the Levium take great pride in washing the hands of the Kohanim, and it is a wonderful, wonderful mitzvah and partnership that we see. In fact, one of our great Levium here in our shul we're missing. He's gone to warmer climates. But we'll forgive him for that because, I mean, who could blame anybody for going to warmer climate during the winter here? But one of our starka Levium, always doing his task and taking it very seriously. Let's say the Kohen is worried that maybe there was no place to wash in the shul, there's no water, and he won't be able to wash before duchening. Then he can wash his hands at home before davening. He has to make sure that they stay clean. And this is how he'll be able to duchen. But if the Kohen was not careful with washing after washing in the morning, he wasn't careful with keeping them clean, and then there was no water available to wash before duchening took place, then he shouldn't go up and duchen and give the bracha since his hands are not prepared. So in any instance, whether it's the washing, whether it's a mum, whether he's not there in time, if the Kohen cannot be in a position where he could duchen, he should step out of the shul before duchening begins, because then we don't want the gabe or anyone else to make a mistake and say, hey, go up and duchen, when he really can't. And if he is there and they call him and he doesn't go up, people are going to think, oh, there must be something wrong with him. He's not a valid Kohen or whatever it might be. So therefore, the best eitzah, the best advice in any instance like this where the Kohen is not going to duchen is to just politely step out before this moment comes, and therefore we won't run into any of these problems. So, we thank you for joining us again. We're Ola on the duchen of Torah. Please continue davening for Chayei Tzvah Israel, for Shlem Chol Israel. Ili Nishmat Daniel Shimon Arav Deron B'Shlosh Shem Kudamo. And we thank you for joining us today. Have a great day. We'll see you here next